Hey, what's up YouTube? Down in the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and tonight I'm excited to share with you my first impressions of this device right here. This is the Moto E4, and so I just got this device, what is it, June 28th, so I ordered it June 28th and got it today, so today's June 30th, which is the day this phone actually launches, and as you can see, it's available on Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description for $100, and I gotta say that so far, I think that this is a fantastic device at that price point. So this is just my first impressions because like I said, today is my first day with it, but so far everything seems pretty darn good. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the specs. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the back of the box. So here we go. Back of the box show that we have a 5-inch HD display, and I gotta say that I really think that this display is quite nice. So I'm actually going to go into the lock screen so you can see an ad there, but the display does look pretty crisp, and you can see that viewing angles aren't too bad either. You can see I'm using it on T-Mobile, so this is actually unlocked for all the major US carriers in the United States. So that was one touch of the fingerprint. A second touch will bring me right back into my phone. So we have a 5-inch 720p display. We have splash proof coating, so it's going to be splash proof but definitely not waterproof, and the main reason for that is that the back is removable, and with the removable back it's pretty much impossible to get full waterproofing. We have a quad-core processor. That's the Snapdragon 425 processor, and that's clocked at 1.4 gigahertz. We got 2 gigs of RAM and then 16 gigs of onboard storage, and we already mentioned the fingerprint sensor as well. Another spec they don't mention on here, and well, here it is, the 2800 milliamp hour battery. So that is, so far, I gotta say the battery seems pretty good. We'll take a look at some battery statistics in just a little bit. Some other things worth mentioning in terms of the phone: we have a 5-megapixel camera up front. This is both our speaker, so it's the only speaker on the phone, and then it also is, of course, what you're going to use for phone calls. We do have a front-facing flash. Down on the bottom, we have our charging port, so that's micro USB. We have a microphone there as well. And so our 8-megapixel camera on the back, we have a flash and then another microphone, and we have our power button, and you can see, hopefully, if I can get that in focus, there it is. So we have a nice rigid, whoops, get rid of that. And then we have our volume rocker right above that. So nice location for those. I'm going to go ahead and turn my screen off. And down here in the bottom corner, I'm not sure if we can see that, but down here in the bottom corner is where we're going to lift this off to get our removable back off of there. Let's see if there's any sealing in there. So I don't see any kind of seal that would allow that to, make it more waterproof. So definitely just splash proof. Essentially, you can just splash the front of the phone and it'll be okay. You don't want to drop it in the water. So there's our battery. I have my SIM card right here, and then the micro SD tray. So you can expand the storage with a micro SD card, of course. So anyways, so definitely a plastic back, but overall I think the phone feels very solid in hand. Feels pretty good. So now I want to show you what this looks like. So I'm dealing with an issue with GearBest right now. So I just got an email from them. Got my messenger, and then there it is. There is my app store. There's my actual ad. That's what the ad's going to look like if you have notifications. If you have no notifications, like I showed you earlier, when you go into, whoops, I actually hit the fingerprint sensor. So if I go back in here, hit it, there you go. There's the full screen ad. So that's if you have no other notifications. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some more details about the device. So you can see here in terms of apps that it comes with, we have a number of Amazon apps that come preloaded, but other than that, it's pretty much the stock Android. Now the one app that it comes with that's going to be very nice that you'll want to use is Moto. And I have the Moto actions already turned on. So you can see here I have one button nav turned on, and I have swipe to shrink turned on. So one button nav, let's turn it off just so you can see what it looks like. So now there are software buttons here for navigating through the phone. So we have a back button, a home button, and a recent apps button. But if I turn that the one button nav on, now they're gone. And to go back, I can, let's see, go into Chrome and swipe to the left, and it goes back. Or I can swipe to the right to go to my recent apps. So really nice option. So that's the one button nav. I can swipe to shrink the screen. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. So if I swipe down to the left, hopefully I can actually get that to work. Okay, so I'm not going to get that one to work apparently. I think I'm doing it right. Am I doing it right? Tell me what I'm doing wrong, guys. I don't even know. So supposedly you can do that. That's one I've never really used. So what am I doing? Swipe down to the left or right. All right, so maybe it's just down here. I don't know. Let's try it. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so that one I can't get to work, but it's not one I would have used anyways because this is only a 5-inch screen. This is a phone that you don't really need that. And then we do have Moto Display, which is going to give you your the notifications on the front of the screen when you are here. So they will just kind of pop up and give you some nice notifications. So anyways, that's the Moto Display, and then we have a night display as well. You can set that up. So that's really the only, I would say, software tweak that Moto adds to this device. There is no shaking to turn the flashlight on. That is a nice option, but it's not on this phone. But other than that, pretty much the stock Android. You can see here, storage, I'm using 9.27 gigs out of 16. So I have added a number of games on here, so I'll go ahead and show you the gaming performance. Actually, let's go ahead and do that right now. So I've pretty much just put social media and some games on here. That's pretty much all I've done at this point. But let's go ahead and show you what it is like to play a game on here. And I gotta say, so far, gaming performance has been very good. I think because this is such a stock phone, there really doesn't need to be a whole lot of I guess, processor behind it because so far games have been very fluid. This is just one example. So this is Beach Buggy Racing, not the most graphic intensive game, but certainly not a super light game either. So go ahead and show you what gameplay is like. And so far I haven't noticed any frame rate drops, but I have noticed that I kind of suck at the game. But that's me. That's not on the phone. So I don't know if you guys see any frame rate drops, but personally, I haven't really noticed it. But go ahead and get out of that. So hit the home button. All right, so there you go. But in terms of performance, yeah, I would say I haven't really run into situations where I've been like frustrated with the performance of the phone. You could see how long. Apparently, I was looking at I was looking at a curved OLED display there, Samsung display. But anyways, yeah, so navigation, you can see it's kind of, it's lagging just a little bit there. Certainly not the fastest. So I just swiped back to get into my recent apps. So that's how I got there. Now we do also have multitasking available here. So you swipe to the right to get your recent apps, and then I can just drag this up here. And now I have Chrome there and Facebook down here. So I can swipe through Chrome and I can swipe through my Facebook feed at the same time. So nice option there. And that's on any phone that's running Android Nougat. So this one happens to be running Android 7.1.1 out of the box. So yeah, so I would say so far performance has been pretty good. In terms of camera quality, I'll go ahead and show you some quick pictures. So I actually just did this. So let's go ahead and show you how fast the shutter speed is. So not the fastest there, but do one more. So okay, that first one was just kind of slower, but since then it's a little faster. And front facing, same thing. So we have a 5-megapixel camera up front, and I'm going to say that so far, by the way, both shoot in 1080p. Should mention that as well. Not a whole lot of options over here. We just have a quick capture. We have the photo size. We can change it to 8 megapixel or to 6 megapixel on the back. Swipe back over here, see what other options we have. So like I mentioned, both shoot in 1080p, so there it is, 1080p in the rear. If I switch it to the front, we can also shoot in 1080p in the front. You can see the only option here are 30 frames per second though. But overall, I would say the picture quality has been decent. I'll go ahead and show you some pictures at the end so you can get an idea of what the camera quality is like. So I do also want to mention the battery life, and this is really just 1 day of usage, and I've been using it, I would say, relatively heavily. So I'm currently at 37%. It's 11 o'clock at night. Whoops, I just accidentally turned the brightness up. So brightness, definitely, this phone gets pretty bright. I had no problem seeing it in the daylight. But let's get back into battery. So go into the settings and check out the battery. Whoops. Oh, I was at the bottom. That's why. All right, where's my battery? There it is. All right, so 37%. Let's check out that screen on time. All right, you can see I was using a lot of YouTube. So 3 hours and 30 minutes. And like I mentioned, what were we at? 37%. So going by that, it looks like we'd probably get through a little over 5.5, maybe about 5.5 hours of screen on time is approximately what I would expect today, based on what I've used so far and what's left over. So that's pretty good. So battery life seems so far to be okay. And the last thing I want to test is the speaker. So I think I actually have some music I was just listening to on Amazon Music actually. So right now you can actually get Amazon Music for 4 months for 99 cents. So definitely something worth checking out. That's what I did. I have a Amazon Echo, and so I thought, why not get, 99 cents for, let's see if I can find a song here. Let's do this one. Crank it up a little bit. Only play for a little bit so we don't get in trouble. This is a front firing speaker like I mentioned. All the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. All right. Before I get in trouble, I don't want to play any more of that. But anyway, so I would say so far the speaker quality, it's one front firing speaker. It's front firing, so that's nice. It's not the loudest, but it's also not the quietest speaker either, and it sounds okay. So if speaker quality is important to you, then you're probably not buying a $99 phone anyways. But anyways, with that being said, I gotta say that if you're in the market for a inexpensive, very good phone that's unlocked, I think this Moto E4 is definitely one worth considering. Is it a perfect phone? Absolutely not. But I would say for $99, it's definitely got to be one of the best phones you can pick up right now. And I don't know of any phones off the top of my head that I think are maybe, I can think of carrier phones that are just as good. And there are a couple of blue phones that are pretty decent, around $100, probably a little bit more if you want a good blue phone. You're looking at spending closer to like $200. But anyways, a very good option, the Moto E4. Check it out. Like I said, link down in the description, and enjoy the pictures, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace. Midnight.